Hey guys, it's Ghost here, and I'm here with YGOPaisano. How you doing, man?
Good, how's it going?
I'm doing great, doing great. First off, congratulations so much on your victory, getting first place with Ritual Beast at the Side Deck Regional about, like, what, 2, 3 days ago over the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Impressive stuff, man. Absolutely amazing. Just introduce yourself real quick. Tell us about yourself and your love of the game and your experience in the competitive scene.
Yeah, my name is YGOPaisano. I've been playing this game since it came out, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is everything. I mean, I do everything with Yu-Gi-Oh! It's so weird. I enjoy the game. I play it constantly. I met my wife through this game.
Your wife is in the
I
game.
no, I met. Well, her brother used to play it, and then we went to go pick him up one day, and that's how I met my wife.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it's insane. And then I just, like I said, I play the game constantly. I think about the game constantly, and lately, especially the past couple of months, I've been really focusing on being more competitive, and it's definitely been starting to pay off.
Oh, I mean, I could tell. Would you go like 9-0 or 10-0? I forgot how many rounds they had.
No, no, yeah, it was 7 rounds, so 7-0.
7-0, dude. Absolutely cracked,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Before we start, just a little quick question, not just for me, but for the audience. How many Snake Eye variants did you play against? And was it like Snake Eyes as Amina, or was it pure Snake Eyes? Like, just your experience in this tournament.
I played against one Snake Eye Fire King. There was two Fiendsmith variants, but I never saw Snake Eyes, so I guess I just won't count that. And then the rest was just Tenpai.
Wow.
A lot of Tenpai.
Did you? Okay. We're gonna show his deck profile in a second. But did you ever have a situation where the Tenpai player activated Shifter that you changed Shifter in response as a joke?
No, but it's funny because game one of one of my games, I shifted and I couldn't do full combo. I think I had to set I went shifter, he chains, I believe it was Fualos. And then so obviously the game state was a little bit weird. And I didn't have a crazy hand, so what I did was I just set Winda face down the fence mode after going shifter and pass turn over to him. And then he drew and he's like, summon Chandra, and I'm like, oh, okay.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna get into your deck profile here, and yeah, let's go take a look at your list. All right, Paisano, let's take a look at your deck list here for Ritual Beast. A little side note, one of my buddies plays Ritual Beasts in playtesting, and this deck, low-key, gives me PTSD. So when I saw it topped, I honestly wasn't surprised. Absolutely
Yeah, no,
insane deck.
it's a crazy deck. It's a 41 card a main deck, and I'll talk about side extra. I'm running 3 Ritual Beast Tamer Elder,
Nice.
3 Spiritual Beast Candlehawk, 3 Spiritual Beast Rampangu, 3 Spiritual Beast Tamer Laura, and then for the one-off monsters, Ritual Beast, 1 Winda, 1 Apelio, 1 Ritual Beast Tamer Wen, and 1 Laura. And then I'm running Nemesis Corridor, Nemesis Flag, and Arch Nemesis Protos. And then I'm just 3 Shifter.
You mean
Because-
3 I win instantly card?
Auto win button cards, absolutely. I'll be honest, I didn't draw it that much, especially against Fiendsmith. I wish I drew more against Fiendsmith. I didn't draw much against them, but man, those Fiendsmith matchups, if I drew, I think it literally would be just an auto win on them because those decks really struggle against that card.
You know, honestly, we complain about shifter decks all the time, but whenever I played one, it's like I never drew into shifter, and I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
The only time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so I was telling before we was quoting the only I think one of the few times I actually drew shifter, I went shifter. My opponent chained Fualos, so I set a monster. They went and then they summoned Chandra, so shifter didn't even matter. It just did nothing.
Gotta love those Tenpai players, man. It's just going second. Not hating on the deck if you're a Tenpai player. No disrespect to you. It's just not exactly the most fun to play against in my experience.
Yeah. I'll be honest, it's a very I think turn 1 it's kind of whatever, but going second and turn 2 with Tenpai is very difficult, and that's where you see the really good type of players from the average regular Joes, the kids that can play going second consistently and break boards and win, and the kids also who can, like I said, go second, play the next turn with Tenpai. That's where it's really hard because that deck has a huge hill to climb after it, after that whole going first kind of setup.
Oh yeah, of course. All right, let's get into the spells here.
Yeah, so I have one Pride of Prosperity, three Ritual Beast Inheritance, three Mercy Teleport, three Book of Eclipse, three Talents, and three Dark No Ruler No More. And the traps, I just run three evenly match. I
Nice.
don't run the Ritual Beast trap. I don't like it. I feel like it's a win more card, and I feel like if this deck does what it wants to do, it doesn't need any win more cards.
I see.
So I just took it out. I played locals the Wednesday before the weekend, and I'll be honest with you, after testing it, every time I bricked, it was because I had that trap in hand. That card would have let me play the game every single time. It happened 3 times. So I was very fortunate enough to play the locals and test and find out that the trap wasn't good. I will say my favorite card in this entire deck is actually Talents. I run 3 of Talents. The cool thing about this deck is obviously Protos, but majority of times, if you go first, you're gonna go on Colossus. And against certain decks, especially like Ritual Beast, Colossus is cool, but they have ways to play around it. Whereas with Talents, the minute after a hand trap, you talents them, you see their hand. The second you see any kind of any fire card, the mirror match you obviously call wind. I mean, there's so many decks. Fire Kings obviously still call fire, but any deck, any mirror match, you'll go into Colossus. You'll change your entire lineup, and it's all because they played one hand trap and responded by punishing them. Not only did they lose a card, but they actually give you information that they otherwise shouldn't give you. And this card was a blow. I mean, there was one game state where I went Ritual Beast Inheritance. I already had full combo, activated Inheritance, removal cost. My opponent said, "Oh, Ogre," and I was like, "Cool, Talents." And then I saw their hand, and I saw Chandra, and I'm like, "Sweet." And I did my full combo and caught fire, and there was nothing they could do. It was insane. Like,
honestly, dude, like if your deck can play through like 1 or 2 interactions in the hand, against hand traps against your opponent going first, Talents is just so versatile in like every single way. Like, but most of the time, man, like what you were just explaining, when you're looking at your opponent's hand and shuffling one back, you've basically won the game right there. Like you basically won the game right there. You essentially control the pacing of it for the rest of the duel. So.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. That's how like the card. I mean, that's exactly what it does. Like, especially when you play that like Ritual Beast, where you have Protoss or you have Colossus. I mean, that card itself is. I mean, they're 2 broken cards. Should still be banned cards, but they're so good and so broken that by activating this one card, and if you have full combo, which is like, I mean, getting full combo is relatively easy, especially with the new support and new cards. Yeah, no, it was amazing. The deck performed perfectly because of that synergy.
Now, before we get into your extra deck here, I know everyone wants to see the rest of the deck profile. First off, my friend here, he's also a YouTuber. I'm going to leave a link to his channel and a link to his deck profile in the description of this video. But it's something I want to talk to you about. Me coming to you as a Phantom Knight player and the way I play my deck. I find it very interesting that you're going for a very board breaker concept. This is something that I've always done for a very long time. And it's always like a debate in the Yu-Gi-Oh community to just play a lot of gas and like run board breakers. What is your mindset for wanting to play board breakers in main deck over hand traps? Because I saw that you had like Fuwalos and Ash like in the side versus in the main. It's almost like the opposite of like what the usual Yu-Gi-Oh player does when they're deck building.
Yeah, and it's funny because this past weekend we started seeing some other Ritual Beast plays, and it's starting to main deck Dark Rose, starting to go back into the main deck. And guys like Julio's a great example where he made like 2 Dark Ruler, and you could tell he's slowly realizing, hold on, I might need to worry about, because the way I look at it is I worry more about beating my opponent's board than Fuwalos, because the main reason people will want to play hand traps, number one for Ritual Beast, is because of Fuwalos or the other Molcharmi. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, those are excellent cards, they're really good. But if you look at the entire meta and you analyze the entire meta, majority of players are playing are playing only Fuwalos. And to be honest with you, a lot of them are playing Molcharmis in the side deck. Some are slowly not even playing Molcharmis. So I feel like with this deck, when you're going first, yes, Ash Blossom Joy Spring and Corbin of Grave are the cards you want. Actually have a perfect 6 card side out for going first. So my mentality was to focus on going second. If I was to go second, how can I beat my opponent? Because that's the most important thing now. Because going second, this deck struggles against a ton of decks. I mean, I think it was round 6, I believe. The guy went Invoke Mechaba, Sylvia, and he had the Fiend on the gate. I always put the name of that. The Fiend on the gate with a set back row, no cards in hand, pass turn. Like you can't beat that with an Ash Bottom Imperm. You're just not gonna be able to.
Yeah,
Like
of
you have
course.
Ash Imperm, he's gonna laugh at you and do the rest of his combo and cook. So basically, my focus was evenly matched, Dark Rule No More, because these are the main board breakers. I mean, everything, don't get me wrong. The deck inherently has board breakers. You could technically say Talents is a board breaker. I mean, Shifter is not a board breaker, but it kind of goes in line with the hand shot ratio. As well as a book of Eclipse, which can be a board breaker, can be used defensively. So these are kind of like the optional cards. But these are the main board breakers, and a lot of decks right now don't have answers to Dark Rule No More Evenly Match.
Oh,
It sounds goofy, but like a lot of decks will just give you their board. So, and a lot of decks go through so much. I mean, like I said, that one Phoenix guy, he went through everything. He had no cards, and I went Dark Rule Evenly, set full combo up. And I don't mind giving my battle phase away if I can set my board up. So that's my
oh,
mentality, my give and get give. Where in hand traps you're more proactive versus more charmies. Going second board, and by the way, I always want to go first with like still because going into full combo is still really important. But if I do go second, I want to make sure I have the best going second cards in the game, which these are, to break that board, to set up, to try to win that game. I don't want to give a free game away because I went Ash Imperm, my opponent still went full combo. It doesn't make any sense to me.
oh yeah, of course. Now, of course, we're not disregarding hand traps in any single way. Like, I don't dislike Ash or Fualos or like Imperm
Right,
Jailer at all. It's just sometimes the format calls for more board breaker esque playstyle. But I also
right.
think we should get into the extra deck here as well, going over some of your choices. Little side note: I did see Cowboy in your deck profile before this intro. So
Yes. So, hey, listen, just because we are giving our battle phase away, so I will go to Cowboy if I have to. I didn't do it. It didn't do it, but, since there are times where we give our battle phase away, and of course, if you play Ritual Beast or played against Ritual Beast, these cards are, I mean, there's a novel right over here of information. So
oh
you're
yeah,
sitting there reading, your opponent's sitting there reading, time's being burnt, but you gotta respect your opponent by him wanting to read your cards. So I'm not gonna insult my opponent. I'm like, hey man, I get it. It's a novel of cards, and luckily for me, on my opponents as well, when they go, hey, listen, what does this card do? I can explain it, boom, 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 and majority of the time they're like, all right, cool. Sometimes I looked it up, which is fine. They want to double verify. I totally get it. But you gotta, give information as fast as possible, as efficient as possible. But if it does happen, hey, I got Cowboy in the back pocket. I'm not losing in the time. That's just not gonna happen.
I have this friend named Schwan, and he told me I think 1 or 2 years ago at locals, he's like, because he was running Despia at the time, and he had like a Cowboy in the extra deck anyways. And I remember he told me he's like, I don't really use it, but just having it there makes me feel more safe. And I just found that
Absolutely.
hilarious. All right, let's get into the extra deck here.
Yeah. So for extra deck, we play one Ritual Beast Ulti Ready Ari, one Salamander Amirage, two Ulti Kama Falcos, one Cross Sheep, and one SP Low Knight for the links. Then we have one Gaga Cowboy, one Infernal Flame Banshee, one Ulti Guy Pelio, one Ulti Apelio, one Colossus, double Nochi Drago, and double Cannonhawk.
Nice.
I just want to say no Ritual Beast build is playing Salamander Amirage, but every single one should. A lot of times if we do go second, yes, we go ready. We do a full combo, and with Protoss, Ready Ari, and whatnot. But Amirage is extra value where there are game states where, let's say, I'm playing against Senpai, which I play against a lot of. I'm gonna go ulti ready. I'm gonna do my full combo. But my Banshee's gonna become an SP, and my Amirage can be an extra card. So normally, what I'll do is I would turn my combo into Redari, SP Little Knight, and Protos. So now I guarantee Protos stays on the field to keep reusing. But also I have Amirage here, and Laura would be banished. Ulti Redari, add Laura, get additional normal summon, get rid of that Laura, so now she's engraved to protect Ulti Redari. And now we have Amirage here, and then I'll use Protos to call Amirage. I'll call Fire and then get rid of the Amirage. So this happened a lot where I played against Senpai and I made me go first, and I would just make sure I would maintain as much of the board as possible. Having SP Little Knight protecting a Protos, having a Ready Army being protected by Laura, using Almirage is a really, really integral part of the combo, and no one's really using it, but it works very well. All right.
Oh yeah.
So for the side deck, I decided to, obviously have D Barrier,
The other
double
instant
lightning.
win card.
Yeah, on the flip. I didn't get a chance to use it as much. The only time I really had it set, I put a cyclone in it, and it was already on the fire lock. So I just flipped it cause why not? But in theory, this card's crazy, especially if you own Ritual Beast and you brick. This card by flipping this can obviously buy you another turn. So very important card. Double Lightning Storm and double Dimension Fissure. One Corbett Grave, one Duster. And then for the hand traps, 3 Ash and 3 Fualos. One thing that's really important to note is what I said earlier about going and siding in. So this is outgoing second cards, 6 cards. Against the majority of the matchups, so what I would do is I would get rid of those 6, go 3 Ash, 1 Corbett Grave, and depending on the matchup, I could go either these 6 with Dimension Fissure, so when I'm playing against, let's say, any kind of deck that needs a graveyard, which is a lot of decks, these 6 would be good. Or you can swap this out and then do these. So this happened a lot actually, where I was I kind of was auto-siding, where it'd be these 6 no matter what. Definitely these 4, and then these other cards will rotate. Or there are game states where I would just go, if I was going second, I could just add Fualos and take out other cards that weren't as strong. So what I would do is if I knew I was going to be playing Fualos, I would take out other cards like the Book of Eclipses, which are very good, but Fualos is an easy swap off of that. So now I have Dark Ruling Evenly Match, Fualos, and all those cards, talents. So every one of those cards, if I draw any of those cards, it helps me going second. So my going second was kind of automatic. My going first is automatic. And then you still had these cards, which are still good against back row. People like to play Cosmic Cyclone. I don't. I like to get rid of back row in mass. The thing about Cosmic Cyclone is it puts you down and lower in life points. It's only really good against Runic and Fire Kings. And I feel like this deck's really good against Runic and Fire Kings, so I don't really need that card. So these are like the big auto silence when you need them for certain occasions. This is your going second starter plus or minus 2 of any of these. And then this is your swap off of going second. So really easy side deck. When it comes down to it, I wanted to make it as simple as possible because I want to side as fast as possible, so I can play the game and as efficiently as possible with this deck.
Oh yeah, it looks really good. Don't mind me asking, why Ash Blossom inside though? Just out of complete, why that?
Yeah,
I think I agree with everything. I'm not disagreeing with the Ash inside. Just wanted to ask a quick question as to why.
Yeah, so I would do this if I was going first, and the reason why is because this is how you get out any of the Fualos right here. It actually happened one game where I was about to go full combo. My opponent dropped the Fualos. I ashed him and I kept going. So this card's really, really, really good going. It's really good when you know you're going first. This is probably way good when you're going first. And if you're going first, you don't need Dark Ruler. You don't need Evenly. So I would get rid of those cards, and I would play this. And like I said, this or 2 D Fissures or Lightning Storm, a Duster. And if I went my turn, I would just start my combo off, and then I would end with D Fissure, and I would have the Ashes here to stop Fualos.
Oh, I see. Nice. Really, really cool. All right, so we're gonna go to a few quick questions. Then we're gonna move on from here. But also, fantastic profile, man. Also, love your deck, your mat as well.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so just a few quick questions before we end the video here. Again, please subscribe to my friend. Really solid YouTuber, really solid player. Really excited to see what you got going in the future. So, competitive speaking, we have seen a few Ritual Beasts begin to pop up on the scene even before your regionals, from what I recall. Why did you pick Ritual Beast? Was it a favorite deck? Is it a deck that you have an attachment to, or was it something that you kind of called for the meta? You're like, oh, I think Ritual Beast is the way to go for this upcoming tournament.
I was playing Ritual Beast, especially because the free spreadsheet online is always good. Probably the best spreadsheet I've seen in my life is the Ritual Beast spreadsheet from Ed YGO. Him and his community put together an amazing spreadsheet. I played Ritual Beast up until the release of Fualos, and then I stopped playing Ritual Beast. I played I have access to every deck in the game, so I played Fire King. I played more of a Fiendsmith, Snake Eye build, and I played all these different decks, Tempai. And it was probably till the last remote duel YCS where I played somebody, and he was playing he was playing Ritual Beast, and he goes, "Hey man, the deck's still good." And we talked for a little bit, and that conversation made me play Ritual Beast like that. And then I rewrote Ritual Beast. I entered another remote duel regionals after the remote duel YCS, and I played against one of the guys who wrote the spreadsheet on Ritual Beast. So I had to play him in the but I had to play him in the finals. So I was cooking my opponents, and I would watch his games, and he was cooking his opponents, and we were playing against like I played like Snake Eyes, I played against Snake Eyes Fire King, I played against Ubel, and then he played against like all these other decks. Water was one of them, and he was cooking his opponents, I was cooking my opponents, and then the finals replay, we go to game 3, and I misplay him, and of course I do, and he wins that regional flight. But that really got me like pumped to play Ritual Beast because I said, okay, you know what, even with Fualos, the deck is still really good. And then that's how I approached this regional, which the idea of even those Fualos, this deck has ways to play still. So I mean, I've been playing the deck for a while, but to answer your question is short. I've been playing for a while, but I was on and off, and now I'm back in, and it feels great. The deck really feels really well.
I hope to see you playing at the next YCS pretty soon. You got a lot of experience on playing. Now this is also for me as well, because people who follow my channel know that I actively play at remote regionals and remote locals, and I attempted to go to the YCS, but I couldn't due to personal reasons. Do you have any advice for the Yu-Gi-Oh player who is kind of like more in a remote region, and they are going to be going on Discord playing against the side deck regional, or playing in another another organization to try to make a name for themselves in the online scene, because we all know that playing remotely versus playing in person can be very different. Do you have any advice to a Yu-Gi-Oh player who is looking into that?
So one thing that I'll play all my years of Yu-Gi-Oh is learn the small rulings. And one of the ways you can do that, obviously, if you're someone who's remote, can't make it to locals all the time, maybe you just don't want to leave your house, totally get it. The side deck does remote duel locals every day of the week besides Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can have a way to test and play in a physical locals, remote duel. I mean, you're playing it in a remote duel way, though. But you're getting your OTS packs, you're getting your packs from winning, you're playing in a local scene, you're practicing, and it's helping you become a better player. And that helped me a lot. Like, I learned a couple of rulings of Original Beast actually at remote duel locals, which helped me play into this event. Actually, it's probably one of the reasons why I went undefeated was because I knew a couple of the rulings that I learned via remote duel locals. So I would definitely recommend remote duel locals. And as far as going from remote to physical, I think if you play remote duel locals, you would gain a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge that if you was to go to a physical event, it would still carry over. There are things you still have to learn physically, like reading your opponent, reading body language, but that's stuff that, you would have to learn through playing physically, or just in life, just playing in life in general. But by playing remote duel locals, learn the small rulings, you become an infinitely better player than anyone else around you, just naturally, because you will understand the game more. And whoever understands the game more and plays a good enough deck, and understands the deck their opponents trying to do, will have the best advantage in this game.
I also 100% agree with you here, and I think especially if you're like stuck in like a really bad area, maybe Konami doesn't have any premier events going on around you, maybe it's too expensive, but even then I think doing remote regionals and remote YCSs and remote locals if possible in your free time is really good, because you can rack up that more experience, because some places they'll have like a regional once a year. For as like the side deck, you could like do a regional every month, and you could really like build up like your skills more, get like the understanding of the game more than I think. So I think to anyone out here, I do recommend checking out remote regionals in the future. I hope Konami continues to do events like these, but yeah. Appreciate your time, Paisano. I really loved your insight, though. Thank you again for coming in on my channel and discussing Ritual Beast with me here. From one Yu-Gi-Oh player to another, I really did appreciate your advice, not just for me, but to anyone else who's listening into my channel. Everyone, if you guys could just please subscribe to him. He's a really cool guy, really chill dude, very, very talented. He makes his own videos, and I'll have a link to his deck profile on YGO Pro as well. And yeah, anything you'd like to say before we end off here?
Nah, I just appreciate you creating content. As a content creator, one of the main things is always do it, always be consistent, and do it because you like it. People like to do it because of ulterior motives. Throughout my experience throughout years, and it never works out. But if you do this game, and if you're into this game because you love it, and as a content creator, creating content because you love it, You'll find a lot of avenues open up for you that are great, that are beneficial, and I hope they do open up for you and anyone else who started, really want to become a big content creator. Because what we need is big content creators in this game to actually care about this game.
Oh
It's a very
yeah, of
important thing,
course.
actually.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
it's very,
really
it's
important
actually
thing, dude.
insanely important. Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a wonderful day, man. Thanks again for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one.
All good.